Welcome back to Press Here. My next guest kind of has an Uber for laundry. You can have somebody pick up your laundry the way you have somebody pick up your mother-in-law to send her back to the airport. Scott Patterson is the CEO of Tumble. You know, you've been in the business of laundry for a number of years, right? You did pay by phone for apartment complexes. This laundry service is a bit of a pivot, right?
This is the natural evolution of this. So we had these laundry rooms. As you can imagine, the service and the experience of coin laundry has been around for many years and is terrible. One of the
Yes.
things that we realized was that these machines are wildly underutilized. So by bringing them online, we see the excess capacity, and now we're going to fill that with outside loads.
So the original business, which I like very much, I mean, everyone has had that pain point living in an apartment complex of, you know, you go up to a dryer and there's still somebody's clothes in it. Your service was doing things. Not only could you pay for the dryer and not have a million quarters, but your phone would tell you when your dryer was done. But you're now saying some of those very same people living in apartments might want to think to themselves, I could do somebody else's laundry.
Absolutely. And with especially with the way times are, right? Like your time, if you're employed right now, has never been more valuable.
Yeah.
So we're matching people who maybe don't have a lot of time but need to offload some hours with people who want to work from home and make a little extra cash.
Now, it's funny that you bring up the economy because this does sound like a peak of the economy service. When we see that the economy becomes uncertain during downturns, during layoffs, you know, employees or former employees start to prioritize, right? I mean, the budget for DoorDash and Uber and subscriptions tends to go out the door as they start to think about things like rent and student payments. The timing on this, are you comfortable with the timing on this?
Yeah, 100%. So the luxuries tend to go out the door, right? But when you are looking at ways to monetize your own time, which we most of us do that by working, you want to free up as much time as possible. And laundry is not a high value activity. You're wasting 3 hours a week on average. So in order to get that time back, if you make if you make more than $20 an hour, you're basically it's not worth your time to be doing laundry.
Now, what's the response been? I know you're rolling out to various locations. You need, you know, you don't need an even number of launderers with people who need laundry. I mean, a launderer can do more than one during the day, but you have to have at least a certain number of people willing to do the laundering. Have you got those people?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100. So that's kind of the beauty of this whole model, right? Is that we have this density of machines in these apartment buildings. So instead of thinking of it like doing it at home, you know, if I'm one person with one machine, I can only do so many loads of laundry.
Yeah.
But now I'm one person with 8 sets of machines, 20 sets of machines.
Have you had any pushback from landlords? I mean, you know, somebody who's, you know, I'm the landlord and that person's in the laundry room with 8 loads every single day. I'm going to maybe get a little suspicious.
Well, but they're making ancillary revenue off of this.
Yeah, I guess they
So,
are. You know, there's no rule. Yeah, and
well,
they're paying for the laundry.
well, that's part of the core business is that we have a revenue share with the property managers. So
Ah,
they're actually this
they
is
know about it.
they know about it. They're bought into it. This is ancillary revenue. They're better monetizing the square footage out of this laundry room, which has typically been low value to them. And so it's this whole win-win-win situation where you have people who don't have time, you have people who want to make some money, and that you're better monetizing the square footage for the property management.
You spent a number of years as a U.S. Marine. You know, there's an adjustment period in your leadership style, right? I mean, employees do not always respond to orders the way a corporal or a rifleman would. What sort of things transferred over well from the military as far as leadership and entrepreneurship go?
Yeah, well, I can't speak to the other branches and their leadership styles of being overbearing, but in the Marine Corps, what we're very focused on is pushing leadership to the lowest levels, right? So you don't want someone that can only follow orders. You want someone that can think on their feet, that can look at a plan and improvise within that plan, And we're doing the same thing in startups. It's maneuver warfare of business, and we are constantly facing challenges. I mean, startups are typically described as the hardest thing anyone's done. And I think there's a lot of parallels in how we operate in the startup world and in the infantry.
You served in Iraq, and we certainly thank you for your service there. And I know you were also posted to Estonia for a while. My last question is about that. Estonia, of course, is a former Soviet republic on the Russian border. I'm curious, all that time you were trained to face the Russian army, which, we all thought, you thought, we thought was the most powerful army in Europe. And it turns out it's not even the most powerful army in Ukraine.
Right.
The weakness of the Russian army, I think, shocked us all. But for someone who was posted to Estonia looking over the stone wall at the Russian army, you must have been just absolutely stunned.
The conundrum that Russia has found themselves in the Ukraine is really a testament to the Ukrainian people, and what they're doing. So, hats off to them. And as we all know, it's very expensive to maintain a military, and I think that that's what you're seeing out of the Russian military is that things were not sustained, people were not trained, gear was not held up, and hats off to the Ukrainian people for standing up for what they believe in, their country, and wanting to be independent.
Well, Scott Patterson, I appreciate the insight into both laundry and the military. Scott Patterson is the CEO of Tumble. Thank you for being with us this morning, and Press Here. We'll be right back.